Everything you've endured recently, the close calls, the empty bank account, the countless nights spent whispering your hopes into the dark, has brought you to this exact moment. If you've been longing for a breakthrough, trust me when I say you're not just approaching a small improvement, but a massive transformation that will completely reshape your financial reality. Before we go any further, take a moment to do this. Hit the like button, subscribe, and comment 77 as a declaration to God, the universe, and your own spirit that you're ready to break free. Then when you feel a deep recognition stirring within, return and say, ready for what's next in your own words. Because by the time you finish this message, you'll understand why, as a chosen one, you're on the verge of a financial shift so powerful, it defies conventional understanding. Chapter 1. You are on the brink of a major financial breakthrough. You're feeling the pressure of living day to day, managing bills and obligations that seem to grow endlessly. You wonder if this is all life has to offer, just surviving, celebrating small victories, only to face a new wave of challenges that consume whatever progress you've made. Yet deep inside, there's a fire that refuses to accept this as your final reality. You know you're meant for more, that your true potential far exceeds the limited resources in front of you. And you're absolutely right. That gap between your destiny and your daily struggles is the very reason you feel unsettled. Think back to moments when financial success was just within reach, only to slip away. Maybe it was a business idea ahead of its time or an unexpected windfall that vanished before you could maximize it. Each setback may have tempted you to shrink your dreams, but every disappointment has also strengthened your determination. It's not that you are chasing money for vanity. You crave the freedom and impact that a more abundant life can bring. Deep down, you know you're meant to elevate not just yourself, but also those around you. You don't want scraps, you want overflow. This restlessness is what many chosen ones experience before a major financial shift. If you feel that gnawing drive, that sense that there has to be more, it's because God planted that conviction in your spirit. Your current constraints are a prelude to an explosive release of provision. In historical and modern accounts alike, the greatest wealth surges often followed periods of intense preparation, where faith was tested and perseverance refined. You stand in that refining moment. The tension is a sign that a massive breakthrough is brewing. Yet stepping into radical financial uplift demands letting go of limiting beliefs about money. Maybe you've internalized the idea that rich people are unethical, or that you're somehow disqualified from real success because of your past mistakes. But your calling to greatness has nothing to do with stereotypes or stigma. God looks at your heart, not your errors or the narrative society imposes. If your spirit is aligned with a greater purpose, to bless your family, your community, your world, financial abundance is merely a tool to fulfill that mission. Money, after all, is neutral. The difference is who wields it and why. Of course, it's scary to aim for something that feels so big. Doubts might ask, what if I fail again? What if this time is no different from the last? But consider the alternative. Living in perpetual anxiety about your bills, never seeing your talents flourish. That's not living, that's surviving. And survival alone doesn't suit you. There's a reason you've always felt bigger inside than your external circumstances suggested. Your soul was designed for expansion. Embrace the fear, yes, but don't let it anchor you to small living. You might also notice that in the midst of financial strain, new ideas bubble up in your mind. Strategies, inventions, business concepts, or partnership possibilities. These aren't random. They're nudges from the divine, signposts that point to a path of action. One or two might seem improbable or beyond your skill set, but that's how God works. He often places you on a route that requires His involvement, ensuring you learn reliance rather than arrogance. If you sense a persistent idea urging you forward, pay attention. It might just be the golden ticket you've been praying for. Remember, though, that wealth isn't solely about money. It's about mindset, networks, spiritual readiness, and your capacity to handle blessings without being consumed by them. Some people sabotage themselves because their inner blueprint still clings to poverty or guilt about prosperity. If you let these outdated mindsets remain, even if an influx of money arrives, you risk losing it or Living in constant fear of losing it? Embrace that you have permission to prosper, to create a legacy, to demonstrate what can happen when a chosen one steps fully into abundance. One key step is establishing discipline. If you're eyeing significant wealth, you must handle small resources with excellence now. Start by managing your existing finances wisely, even if they're meager. Track your spending, avoid unnecessary debt, invest a portion of your income, no matter how small. This disciplined approach signals that you respect money's power and are prepared to handle more. People frequently pray for a windfall but live irresponsibly, which sends conflicting messages. Align your daily habits with the level of blessing you expect. For a moment, reflect on the possibility that your life could transform within months or even weeks. Envision being so financially stable that you effortlessly fund your passions, help family members, or support charitable causes. It's not fantasy. You've seen or heard testimonies of folks who went from zero to abundant in record time. Why not you? The same God who orchestrated their transformation is intimately aware of your potential. The difference might be your posture. Do you truly believe you operate on a different level as a chosen one? Or do you still see yourself through the lens of limitation? That shift in perspective can happen this very day. Once you grasp that your scarcity phase was a chapter, not the entire story, you start moving differently. You talk with confidence, plan with faith, and even let yourself dream. This isn't arrogance. It's acknowledging that you're not defined by your bank balance. You're defined by the destiny God stamped into your soul before you were even born. And if that destiny includes financial freedom, who are you to argue? The path forward involves balancing practical steps with spiritual alignment. Keep open eyes for unconventional opportunities. The next idea you dismiss might be the one that ushers you into $1 million sphere. Stay prayerful, seeking divine direction in every significant decision. Connect with mentors or a community that believes in the power of faith-driven success. Isolation breeds stagnation, while collaboration amplifies potential. If you find yourself in a room where people only talk about limitations, find a new room. Saturate your environment with individuals who champion big visions and unstoppable faith. In the face of all your past struggles, realize those chapters merely set the stage for a more dramatic transformation. People you once envied might soon look to you for guidance. Your perceived disadvantages could become the vantage points from which you see opportunities others ignore. And when it happens, when you step across that financial threshold, don't forget to remain humble, keeping the root of your blessing in clear view. Pride poisons, while gratitude multiplies blessings further. Hold on to the truth that you're designed to operate on a different level, not because you're inherently better than anyone else, but because you're chosen to exhibit what happens when unwavering faith meets relentless action. This synergy breaks conventional limits. It's not about bragging rights, it's about fulfilling your mission, unimpeded by the constraints of lack. So dare to see yourself as you truly are, a soul equipped to steward incredible resources, destined to shake up the norms and poised to influence the world with a heart shaped by God. Now that's the essence of stepping into the realm of a millionaire mindset, one that transcends currency alone, channeling wealth into a deeper, far-reaching purpose. Chapter 2. Your potential is bigger than your current reality. You gaze at your daily life. Perhaps it's a cramped apartment, a job that barely covers expenses, or a schedule so tight you can't recall the last time you felt relaxed. It's easy to conclude that you're boxed into mediocrity. Yet something in your spirit clashes with that conclusion, crying out that your potential is far greater than the reality you see. And that restlessness you feel, it's not mere discontent. It's the spiritual alarm telling you that you were made for more. Look to the stories of men and women who defied their humble starts, rising to realms of unimaginable success. They weren't handed golden opportunities on a platter. Often they endured more failures than they could count, but they clung to a vision that outstripped their circumstances, acting as if they were already operating at a higher level. If you read their biographies, you notice a pattern. None of them waited for external validation or a perfect set of conditions. They moved in faith, convinced their big dreams were not daydreams but previews of coming attractions. So you might be asking, why is my potential so hidden right now? because you've been busy surviving. When you're in perpetual survival mode, all your mental and emotional energy funnels into making it to the next day. You rarely have the bandwidth to incubate grand visions. This season has pressed you to solve immediate problems, overshadowing any long-term aspiration. But that's about to change. Surviving is no longer your narrative. You're shifting into a phase where thriving becomes the baseline. And once that shift happens, your potential, like a seed that's finally watered, will sprout into a robust enterprise. The difference between those who remain stuck and those who break free often lies in willingness to see beyond the immediate. You can't just wait for life to improve, so you can start envisioning something bigger. You must begin that visioning process now, in the thick of constraints. That vision is like a magnet, pulling you forward through obstacles. The bigger your dream, the more gravitational pull it exerts. And you, as a chosen one, have a dream that dwarfs your present reality by design. Perhaps you fear that entertaining a lofty ambition will only lead to heartbreak. But heartbreak isn't the worst fate. Living small, suppressed, never testing the boundaries of your talent is far more tragic. Painful attempts at growth might sting, yet they also refine you, proving you can handle more. The greatest block to your potential isn't failure, it's the refusal to attempt. And ironically, you grow more from attempts that fall short than from never venturing beyond your comfort zone. Each near win or half failure you've endured has quietly built your capacity for greater success. Your potential also thrives in environments that reflect your aspirations rather than your limitations. If your current circle only discusses small-minded topics or complains endlessly, it's time to find new influences. Books, online communities, mentors who challenge you to think bigger. This shift isn't about abandoning old friends, but about balancing relationships with an infusion of forward-focused connections. It's not a betrayal of loyalty. It's stewardship of your destiny. Because if you keep saturating your mind with mediocrity, your potential withers. If you feed it with expansive thinking, it blossoms. But caution, as you stretch toward bigger visions, your own internal saboteur might whisper that you're being arrogant. Understand that acknowledging you're chosen for more isn't arrogance. It's obedience to a divine calling. Humility doesn't mean you downplay your gifts. It means you recognize their source and purpose. You're not pushing forward to flaunt or outshine. You're pushing forward to fulfill a mission, to demonstrate what faith can accomplish, and to inspire others to break their own limiting chains. Consider how many times in history an individual's unwavering sense of destiny led them to success that defied logic. It's not about logic, it's about alignment. When your internal sense of purpose harmonizes with God's timing, things shift in ways no human can orchestrate. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. Connections form that you couldn't have planned. Money arrives from unexpected channels. This synergy is real. It's the manifestation of supernatural favor in practical terms. Still, you must do the work. Potential without action remains theoretical. You might have the best business idea or the greatest creative spark, but if you never roll up your sleeves and move beyond the dream stage, you remain idle. God meets you in motion, not in inertia. So brainstorm, plan, and then implement. Even if your first steps are wobbly, each attempt clarifies the path. Embrace the learning curve because growth rarely happens in pristine conditions. Real progress is messy, iterative, and full of course corrections. Take an honest inventory. What resources do you already have that you're overlooking? It might be a skill you've downplayed, a connection you've taken for granted, or time spent on entertainment that could be directed toward launching a new venture. Sometimes the key to unlocking your potential lies within your existing means, disguised by your everyday routine. Don't wait for external permission. Give yourself permission to harness everything available. That shift from passivity to proactivity marks a major turning point, signaling to your deeper self and to heaven that you're serious. Finally, internalize this. Your potential is not a pipe dream. It's the accurate measure of what God has embedded in you. If you sense an extraordinary destiny, it's because He placed that blueprint in your spirit from the start. The frustrations you feel stem from the mismatch between that blueprint and your current surroundings. But mismatches can be resolved. No matter your age, background, or bank balance, you can pivot toward your full capacity. Every day you hesitate prolongs the tension. Every day you advance shortens the gap between who you are and who you can be. So step forward. Dare to imagine a life where your talents flourish, unfettered by doubt. Your creativity solves real problems, and your finances echo the grandeur of your mission. That's not greed. That's alignment with a God who never designed you to remain small. Your potential is immense, chosen one, because you operate on a different level. The moment you embody that truth in both mindset and action, you move from aspiration to tangible success. Don't let your present circumstances fool you. They're merely the incubator for a future you can't fully fathom yet. But soon enough, that future will shift from concept to reality because the seed of greatness in you cannot be buried indefinitely. Chapter 3. You're designed to transcend old financial limitations. Set everything aside and focus on this truth. You're wired to exceed the money barriers that have boxed you in. This isn't just feel-good talk, it's both spiritual and practical. You don't only want better finances, you're equipped for them. Once you awaken that capacity, scarcity-based thinking and patterns start to crumble like outdated plaster. Your current financial ceiling, that paycheck gone before month's end, or a side hustle that never fully takes off, isn't fixed. It's an illusion shaped by past disappointments and social conditioning. From God's perspective, you're far more than the limits you've accepted. The moment you glimpse that, constraints lose their grip. If you doubt this, recall the times you showed resourcefulness under pressure, managing a crisis budget, making something remarkable on minimal funds. These weren't flukes. They were glimpses of your latent capability. Yes, you've been in survival mode, but it's time to upgrade. Will you stay in that cycle or shift to the next level where blessings flow freely? Biblical stories of multiplication, feeding crowds with a few loaves and fish, prove that scarcity collapses under divine partnership. You may see your bank balance, credit issues, or a lack of investors, but there's a multiplying factor within you that only needs a seed. Your faith sparks God's endless capacity, outmatching any shortfall. Of course, it's easier to say, "I'm destined for more," than to live it out. True change requires action that supports your new outlook, maybe investing small amounts, applying for better paying roles, or honing new skills. Each choice declares, "I reject the old narrative." Consistency trumps theatrics. Even subtle shifts in how you speak, less complaining, more expectancy, prime your mind to spot opportunities. If you've been waiting for a sign that you're meant for greater financial freedom, consider your pull toward messages like this one. It's not a fluke. The chosen often feel restless around money, knowing they're to master it, not be mastered by it. Guilt may arise if you've been taught wealth is unspiritual, yet money itself isn't the problem, it's what you do with it. Handled rightly, it amplifies your ability to give, serve, and uplift. Still, be vigilant. More money can attract distractions or temptations. Anchor your ethics in the humility forged during lean times. Don't become enslaved to materialism once prosperity arrives. Keep your heart in the right place, letting discipline guide you so that abundance remains a tool, not a trap. Now pause and sense the surge on the horizon. You've felt it in fleeting moments of optimism or prayer. This wave holds the power to wipe out fear and strain. The question isn't if it's real, but whether you'll be positioned to seize it. Positioning means aligning mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to recognize and act on new doors opening. Watch for small clues, a nudge to revive an old idea, a casual introduction to someone influential, a chance to collaborate. These are breadcrumbs leading you toward a financial reality that matches your calling. Don't overthink. Take steps. God guides a moving vehicle easier than a parked one. With integrity and openness, each action propels you closer to a future where money finally reflects your true potential. The only barrier left is your choice to step into who you're meant to be, ever the chosen vessel, freed from financial ceilings that once felt unbreakable. Chapter 4. Your mindset shapes the level at which you prosper. You're at a defining moment, poised between two doors. One leads back to scarcity and worry. The other leads to the financial liberation you've only imagined. The difference between them is your mindset. Far from being just positive thinking, it's the lens through which you see and either seize or miss opportunities. Money itself isn't isolated from your internal world. Your beliefs about wealth, whether it's too scarce or morally suspect, act as filters that shape what flows into your life. Look at any major success story, and you'll find a core belief that success was not only possible, but inevitable. Their mental stance came before the wealth, guiding the decisions that led there. If you keep telling yourself, I can't, no strategy can save you. But if you internalize, I will, doors you never noticed suddenly appear. Of course, old experiences may have laid deep grooves of doubt, teaching you that wealth is unattainable or corrupting. Rerouting those grooves demands intentional action, feeding your mind with stories and teachings that celebrate ethical prosperity, surrounding yourself with dreamers, and seeking environments where growth is normal. You might fear becoming arrogant by adopting a wealth mindset, but humility naturally follows when you recognize every blessing as a divine gift. Money doesn't corrupt by default. It amplifies what's already in your heart. Beware the trap of comparison. Seeing others surge ahead can spark jealousy or discouragement. Both stunt your own path. Your assignment is unique. Your timeline is tailored to build your character as well as your bank account. Instead of measuring your progress against theirs, measure it against how faithfully you respond to divine nudges urging you to shift your thoughts and words. Words themselves shape realities. If you daily affirm, I'm operating on a higher level, God is enlarging my territory, you invite opportunities that match that declaration. People may call it wishful thinking, but every big breakthrough starts with an inner shift. Without faith in possibility, even the brightest door remains invisible. You might try this new mindset and see no instant change. Seeds don't sprout overnight. Consistency is key. Each day you weed out doubt and plant abundance with affirmations and prayer. You reinforce a new internal reality that eventually shows up in your external world. Surround yourself with people who nurture that perspective. Guard against voices that tear it down. Generosity also accelerates a wealthy mindset. Hoarding stems from fear. Giving proclaims confidence in an infinite source. Strategic giving multiplies joy, expands capacity, and reinforces the belief that you have more than enough. Over time, even small steps like tithing, helping a friend, or donating to causes you believe in create momentum that breaks old scarcity patterns. Ultimately, this is your turning point. As you shift your internal dialogue to claim your identity as someone meant for financial freedom, you'll see subtle changes first, extra resources, new optimism, then major leaps. This shift fuels actions that yield results, which then confirm your mindset. That unstoppable loop lifts you beyond the old ceilings that once defined you. Chapter 5. You're tapping a divine source for sustained wealth. Lean back and let this sink in. You're about to draw from a resource so vast it defies logic. It's no lottery ticket or random inheritance. It's a divine wellspring that fuels lasting wealth. Financial, emotional, and relational. Once you connect, your supply isn't hostage to market crashes or luck. You operate from a higher economy that transcends human limits. Yet first, you must accept this. Supply is real. Skeptics insist resources are finite, but countless stories show unexplainable favor. A last-second deal, unexpected streams of income, or a crisis resolved at the 0 hour. Those breakthroughs aren't luck. They are evidence of God aligning events for people who stay attuned to His will. Alignment is crucial. This isn't about magic or laziness. It's about following divine nudges, acting on them wholeheartedly, and keeping a posture of gratitude. When you do, opportunities labeled impossible open with ease, proving you're cooperating with a plan bigger than your own. God isn't inspecting your past, but your willingness to trust and steward blessings responsibly. Rethink money as a servant to your calling, not an idol. When you prioritize your spiritual mission and hold resources with open hands, you invite a self-replenishing cycle of abundance. Generosity feeds your flow. Hoarding chokes it. Though it may challenge your survival instincts, stepping into your chosen role demands discarding fear-based mindsets. Rest in expectancy, not desperation. Fear repels solutions, while confident anticipation beckons them. Maybe you've experienced last-minute financial rescues or promotions out of nowhere. Multiply those by 100, and you glimpse what consistent openness can bring. Bumps may appear, but don't revert to cynicism. Trust that your partnership with the divine endures. Daily words and choices either invite or repel provision. Complaining fuels lack, while faith-focused declarations tune you to receive more. Over time, this becomes second nature. Others might call you radical or naive. Let them. You're called to demonstrate how godly principles bring extraordinary favor. Let results speak for themselves. Watch for subtle confirmations, extra bonuses, timely discounts, support at just the right moment. Each instance affirms you're tapping into something far beyond a paycheck. Soon, these small confirmations become patterns that gain unstoppable momentum, turning money from a stressor into a catalyst for the dreams God placed in your heart. This source doesn't vanish once you reach comfort. It expands as your vision grows. Because you've learned to trust and manage resources wisely, the flow adapts to match your evolving mission. There's no final plateau unless you choose to stop dreaming. Release the frantic scramble to make ends meet. Your finances now rest on a higher foundation, unmoved by economic storms. That's the advantage of being chosen. In this domain, you operate with unshakable stability. Fear and limitation fade as you shift from survival to abundance, from hoarding to generosity, from small thinking to boundless possibility. In time, you'll look back in awe at the transformation in your financial life, all because you dared to connect with a source greater than any bank account. Chapter 6. You step beyond hustle into divine acceleration. You might still see a massive to-do list and wonder if you'll ever catch a break. You've hustled like there's no tomorrow, burning the midnight oil, sacrificing relationships and running on fumes, believing relentless work alone could secure your breakthrough. But something shifted. You're sensing a deeper force at play, where your effort is supercharged by divine momentum. This isn't a green light to lounge. It's a realization that your hustle is now propelled by a power greater than your own sweat and tears. For ages, you chased every lead, marketed your abilities, and even cut corners just to stay afloat. You may have seen some progress, but it often felt shaky, like one misstep would unravel everything. That's the hallmark of human-driven hustle. Partial triumph with a painful price tag. Divine acceleration, however, multiplies your productivity without draining your soul. You find inexplicable bursts of rest amid chaos, timely assistance you never chased, and creative solutions that appear without relentless forcing. This new rhythm is about alignment, not superhuman skill. When your labor lines up with God's plan, synergy happens. Tasks that once took months suddenly wrap up in weeks, and growth you couldn't force arrives effortlessly. You may question if it's real or just a hopeful daydream, but remember, doubt is the echo of days when you believed everything depended solely on you. Now you're partnering with a power that orchestrates events beyond your view. Your role is to stay faithful to what you can manage while God handles the variables you can't. With acceleration comes responsibility. Not every open door is beneficial. Some can distract you or compromise your values. Stay attuned to that inner nudge. If an opportunity feels off, maintain gratitude and integrity, because straying into pride is the quickest way to lose momentum. Let your results speak to skeptics who think you're just lucky or overworked. Over time, they'll see how a spiritual dimension fuels your success. Keep your personal growth in step with external expansion. Rapid success can expose weaknesses if your character isn't robust enough. Make time for spiritual grounding, prayer, quiet reflection, and reading that expands your perspective. Character lags invite ethical pitfalls. The faster you climb, the more critical it is to guard your motives and remain open to correction. Acceleration often brings influence. Use it to lift others instead of inflating your ego. Mentor newcomers, invest in causes that align with divine values, and remain humble about your newfound reach. Such acts anchor your blessings in a purpose beyond self. Don't assume the surge must end. It can become your ongoing reality if you stay aligned and adaptable. Each milestone only reveals a larger horizon. Keep your spirit pliable, your gaze on God, and your feet on the path of integrity. In this realm, hustle no longer drains you. It multiplies under divine acceleration. You're not alone in your endeavor. An infinite source undergirds your efforts, ensuring each step is amplified and every door that opens leads to growth, impact, and a life that defies the ordinary. Chapter 7. You are unlocking a massive inflow of financial favor. You sense it in your spirit. A monumental shift is clearing the way for resources you once deemed out of reach. Financial favor has always hovered at the edges of your life, but now it's stepping into center stage. This isn't a lucky moment soon to fade. It's an outpouring aimed at fueling the dreams God placed in you. Reflect on the road that brought you here. Scarcity dogged your steps. You questioned your worth, and you doubted whether your big aspirations were just fantasies. Yet every struggle reshaped your character. You grew empathetic through hardship, inventive under pressure, and steadfast after each setback. Now you stand ready to steward greater resources. This influx will redefine your baseline. It isn't some random jackpot, but a strategic release meant for those who look beyond personal gain. Maybe you'll break a family's poverty cycle, fund a passion project that uplifts communities, or invest in initiatives that resonate with your calling. Because your heart seeks impact over ego, the flow is unstoppable. God entrusts abundance to those who honor his vision. To fully embrace this season, cast off any remnants of small thinking. Money itself is neutral. Motives shape its outcome. When your purpose is to elevate others and magnify God's goodness, finances morph into a tool for lasting change. Chosen ones chase alignment with destiny, not empty applause. Greater resources also bring distractions. You'll face countless proposals and must discern which truly align with your values. Keep your faith life vibrant so you'll sense internal warnings if a path feels misaligned. Wealth can blind those who abandon gratitude, but if you remain anchored in integrity and humility, you'll handle success wisely. This transformation may unfold in an instant or take time to develop. Stay open to new connections, unexpected calls, or a simple idea that unexpectedly flourishes. Every phase of growth serves a purpose, so resist the urge to rush through it. Soon you'll look around and realize you're operating on an entirely new financial level. No longer are you struggling just to get by. Now you're creating, building, and elevating. You can finally hire the support you need or fund ambitious dreams that once felt out of reach. As you rise, the right allies will be drawn to your mission. Let go of false humility. Acknowledging your blessings isn't arrogance. It's a testament to what's possible. Some may criticize or misunderstand, but their opinions have no power over what's unfolding. If fear whispers, "What if this doesn't work?" Respond with, "What if this is exactly what I was meant for?" Your faith shifts your focus from worst-case scenarios to the best-case reality, one guided by a higher power that specializes in turning the impossible into reality at just the right moment. Envision the breakthroughs this abundance will bring. Debts eliminated, communities strengthened, long-dormant dreams reignited. Let gratitude fill your heart, preparing you to manage these blessings with wisdom and grace. Even if the flow slows at times, it's just part of life's natural rhythm, not the end of your progress. The source of your abundance is limitless. Step forward with confidence into this new realm of financial favor, fueled by faith and gratitude. You are called to steward more than just material wealth. You are chosen to bring hope and transformation wherever you go. Embrace this calling with certainty, knowing that your faith and readiness have unlocked a lasting flow of blessings, far beyond what you once imagined.